The dust of the road still clung to my cloak as I entered the bazaar, the scent of spice and steel filling the air. For weeks I had tracked rumors of a blade that could not be broken, an edge that sang as it cut through armor. I found the weapons dealer in a dimly lit tent, his eyes glittering with the promise of power. He gestured past rows of gleaming swords and heavy axes towards a shadowy corner. I expected to see a legendary sword on a pedestal. Instead, he pulled back a heavy curtain. There she stood, silent, motionless. Her head was encased in a brutal, ornate steel cage, locked with sigils that pulsed with a faint, otherworldly light. Heavy chains connected the cage to manacles on her wrists. She wasn't just a prisoner. She was presented as a product. The merchant's voice was a low whisper, filled with a mix of reverence and fear. He called her his finest offering, a living weapon more powerful than any steel ever forged. He said she could shatter mountains without lifting a finger, and that the cage wasn't to keep others out, but to keep her power in. I approached slowly, the air around her crackling with an unseen energy. Her eyes, visible through the bars of the helm, were calm, but held a depth that felt older than the market itself. The merchant boasted of her strength, her invincibility. He spoke of Forbidden's lore, of ancient magic bound within the iron. He claimed the mask was forged from a fallen star, designed to suppress abilities that could unravel the world. He warned me, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial hiss, that the cage must never, under any circumstances, be removed. To do so, he insisted, would be catastrophic. I gripped the hilt of my own sword, the familiar weight suddenly feeling insignificant. All the blades in the tent seemed to fade into shadow, overshadowed by her quiet, overwhelming presence. I had come seeking a weapon to win a war, a tool of destruction. But what he offered was something else entirely. The runes on her helmet shifted, glowing brighter, and I could almost hear faint whispers emanating from the metal, a language not meant for mortal ears. He claimed she was indestructible, a force of nature given human form, but the tremor I saw in her hands told a different story. This wasn't just about buying a weapon. This was a choice that felt heavier than any shield. The merchant saw my hesitation and leaned in, his final words a chilling promise and a dire warning. He said she was stronger than steel, deadlier than any poison, and that her loyalty would be absolute. But the cost of unleashing what lay beneath that iron mask was a price he couldn't even name. As I stood there, debating the morality of it all, one question echoed in my mind. Was I looking at a weapon, a prisoner, or something far, far more dangerous? The faint hum from her cage was the only answer, a quiet thrum of power waiting, and I knew my journey had just taken a turn into shadows deeper than I had ever imagined. Thank you for watching, and if you're intrigued by this story, make sure to subscribe for more.